Hello and welcome to another episode of Pitch Cafe podcast, a place where talent meets coffee. Today, our speaker has the word brew in her startup. Her startup is so exciting for me as a woman entrepreneur myself. Today, women are making a mark in the startup world, not only the startup world, but also the VC world. There is no place where women's talent is not being recognized. This sounds a little bit cliche, but ask a woman who is in the VC world. There are so few of us there who are there and making a point. And our speaker today is all about empowering women. She has taken it up as a mission to help women resolve conflict in their life. We are mothers, we are sisters, we are co founders, we are people who enable the community with compassion and care. But who is there to resolve our conflict? They say the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, but who is taking care of this hand that rocks the cradle? Our guest today is Reethu George. She has founded Clarity Brew. What excited me about her profile was she comes from a legal and consulting background. To say no to that kind of lucrative job and pick up this mission of helping humanity rekindle their compassion, their human self, getting in touch with the reality of life. This is what really inspired me to get her on the show. We need more people like Reethu George, and you will know why as we start this podcast. Without further ado, welcome Ritu.
Thank you, Vida. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm super excited to be a part of this.
All right, fantastic. So Ritu, when I first spoke to you, I saw your profile. You're all about lifestyle and health and wellness and holistic growth. But who is Ritu George? There she is. She has this amazing degree in law. She has done amazing work with consulting companies. But who is this Ritu George who started Clarity Brew to help women? Who is this person?
I found this question, who are you, to be quite complex, to be honest. But to put it simply, I am a lawyer turned entrepreneur who is trying to make some sort of mark in life. I used to work as a legal associate at Ernst& Young. This was about a year and a half ago. But 5 months ago, I started my entrepreneurial journey and I started Clarity Brew. Clarity Brew is a boutique coaching company. So what we do is, like you had mentioned, we help women. We help women who are facing confusion in their life in regards to their future, gain some sort of clarity and direction in life.
Okay, fantastic. So, Ritu, what caused you to make this shift? It's a very big shift. I went through this shift 4 or 5 years ago, and I had a reason. I was writing a book. I did not have time. I wanted to make time, but back then, when you made the shift, you said you didn't really have clients. You're getting a pipeline right now. So, that kind of shift, what were you thinking when you made that shift?
Yeah, so like I'd mentioned, I was working at Ernst& Young. So I worked there for about 2 years. I was working for a really great client. My colleagues were good. I had good pay, but I had this feeling like, what is my work really amounting to? Am I really making a difference? And in the back of my head, I always had this belief that I wanted to start my own business and I wanted to work for myself. I wanted flexibility. But to be honest, I didn't give it a lot of thought. I didn't think about when I would quit my job or what I was going to do next if I quit my job. But then COVID happened, and I was working in Bangalore. I had to move back to Kerala. That's where I'm from. And then work from home started, and work from home really put things in perspective. It took away all of those factors that otherwise make work a little less stressful, like your tea with your colleagues and like a break in between. But when work from home started, all we were doing is sitting in front of the laptop, working day in and day out. So I started thinking about, is this going to be my future? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? And I didn't see myself in a corporate setting for the long run. So then I thought about it, and I thought, okay, maybe right now might be the right time to take that leap. So I decided to quit my job, but it was, the decision was a little premature. It was a little risky because I hadn't given much thought into what I wanted to do. And then after I quit my job, I took some time. I took some time to think about, okay, I want to work for myself. So what do I want to do? And I want to
Wow.
help someone, but who do I want to help, and what skills do I have to offer? So when I started thinking about that, slowly coaching came into the picture. I'd come across the concept of coaching before as well. So I did my LLM from the University of Queensland. And while I was doing the degree, conflict management coaching was actually a course that I had done. And when I did that course, coaching fascinated me, the whole concept, the fact that how a seemingly simple conversation, how a guided conversation and active listening can really give someone the space to open up without the fear of judgment. And when they went out, it from overwhelmed, they go to this feeling of relief. They leave a session feeling like they have gained some kind of direction. From feeling lost, they go to this space of direction. So that really interested me. So I thought about, okay, maybe coaching could be something that I do. It interests me, and I have a skill in it as well. And then I thought about, okay, if I want to coach, how am I going to turn it to a business? Can I turn it into a business? Because I wasn't really exposed to any coaches or coaching businesses till then. I started doing research. I did some market research. I researched about how coaching could be turned into a business, if it could be profitable. What can I, who can I really help? How can I offer coaching? And that's when I came across life coaching as a niche. And I thought about how I could offer life coaching along with my conflict management training. And then I thought that they fit in really well together. So right now, the programs that I offer, it's like the best of both worlds, conflict management with life coaching. And I guess you could say it was kind of like a natural progression of things. Once I decided I want to do life coaching as well, I did my certification in life coaching. I slowly on the side, I started setting up everything for my business. And then one thing led to another. And yeah, here we are today.
Wow. Fantastic. You never know how you can connect the dots. You can only connect the dots by looking back. Who would think your certification in conflict management for teams in corporations has become a tool for helping people resolve conflict in their own life, especially women? So let me ask you this: why do people face conflict? Why does anybody face conflict? Now we're talking about women here. Why do women face conflict? What is it that separates us? Are we genetically different? Do we have different hormones? You have been working with real life people. What do you think is the reason people face conflict?
Yeah. So personally, I don't think there's a specific answer to why we face inner conflict. Inner conflict is just inner struggle within our minds, and most often than not, it happens when we are faced with two opposing choices. And the reason for inner conflict is, to simply put it, life happens. When life happens, we experience so many situations where we are placed in positions of self conflict. For example, maybe someone wants to quit their job and start a new job, but then they think about, okay, I'm in a really comfortable position at my old job, but my new job is exciting. What should I pick? So that's a sort of inner struggle. And so the answer to why is just that it's life. It happens. We experience. We are put in different situation where inner conflict happens. It's just how can you deal with inner conflict when you're put in situations like that. And personally, for me, with my clients and with the conversations that I have had with them, what I have found is the common theme is all of my clients feel like, they lack a sort of direction in life. They lack purpose. They're feeling overwhelmed with where their future is headed. And that's been like the main reason that my clients have approached me.
So, Ritu, I want to hammer down on this question. How can
Yeah.
you help someone find direction and purpose in life? This is like the holy grail of this whole life coaching business. This is the holy grail of anybody's happiness, because happiness is tied to purpose, moment to moment purpose, and purpose, for life as a whole. Or does purpose really make sense? Can somebody be happy without a purpose?
I would say you need some sort of purpose in life. It doesn't always have to be your passion or work related, but you need to feel a sense of purpose. That it maybe for you it could be your family, maybe for you it could be serving your community. But we all need some sort of drive in life, something that we are um, living for, something that pushes us, that makes us feel like, okay, we are doing something. We are here to make some sort of difference in whatever way we can. And to the question that how can you find your purpose, I would say with coaching it's all about giving someone the space and asking them the right questions so that they can self discover, so they can self reflect. And that really makes a difference. You find that when you give someone that space, they themselves, while they talk and while they answer your questions, they themselves reflect and they themselves figure out that, okay, actually this, I think this is what I want. And once you figure out what it is that you really want, then it's a matter of setting goals and taking action.
Fantastic. So, you know, um, I always thought that people with a lot of confidence, have that confidence because they know what their purpose in life. But it over the journey of my connection with a lot of founders, investors, and successful people, it's not like that. They have a conscious effort to be confident and happy. It's nothing to do with the purpose per se, but having purpose helps. It creates that aura of confidence. I know where I'm going next. So tell me, why is it that the market you're looking at, the specific segment women, where you're honing down, that is your niche segment, why are they in this particular dilemma right now? Is it because they're pursuing ambitious careers? Is it because they have to take care of family? And do they have some value conflict? Or is this some what is going on with the women today in this digital world?
um so like you mentioned, maybe it's because of the digital world. We are exposed to so many different lifestyles, and um every day on a daily basis, with on social media we're seeing people, at least on social media it looks like people are leading the best lives and are super happy. So when you see that, you tend to question things like, okay, is that the life, isn't that the life that I can have? Can I have a
Yeah,
different life? So
yeah,
so that question pops up. It's probably because of this. If Probably our generation questions it more because we are exposed to so many different ideas, so many different
exactly.
possibilities.
Yeah.
So I
So,
think that could be.
I talked to my aunt who's not having these, did not have this many distractions like I did, like the Facebook, the Instagram, TikTok. She has so much more clarity and strength. The level of exposure and success she's had is lesser. And I get so much more clarity. She's much happier, in effect. And she has purpose. She wants to take care of her granddaughter, whatever that is. So I'm thinking, what is your take on that? What is your take on this whole social media, this whole thing? We are facing it. It started new in our generation and it's inflated. So, what do you think about that?
Definitely pros and cons to social media. The con again would be that we are taking in so much content day in and day out, and it leads to a sense of feeling unfulfilled and unsatisfied, especially when it's human nature. I think when you see a photo or see someone going on a trip, you tend to compare your life with them. You're probably stuck in a cubicle, stuck in front of the laptop working, while someone's out there living that life where they have the freedom to travel while they work. So yeah, I think social media brings that sort of comparison. You tend to compare your life with other people, but at the same time there are pros to it. The pros is that again, we are exposed to so much information. Like, there's so much possible, and we know those possibilities through social media. So it's kind of like the same thing, but two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. So this is like the yin and yang. It's going to keep going on. We have to
Yeah.
ground ourselves. And I think what you're doing at Clarity Brew is really amazing. So tell me, with that on that note, let's hone in on what you do at Clarity Brew. What are those amazing services you offer at Clarity Brew?
Yeah, so right now I only offer one-on-one service. I offer one-on-one sessions for women. I have a program that's a 9-week program to help women figure out what is it that they want their future to look like, and help them create a plan, and then empower them to take action. Uh,
So
yeah.
So I have this. Is this related to career or is this related to life? Because I know a lot of influencers here where I live in Silicon Valley. They help women grow their online presence, their branding, and things like that. That's like a roaring business here. A lot of women want to do that. It helps them resolve this conflict of peer pressure you just mentioned. Like that, what is it that you specifically niche on? What is your offering?
So it depends. What I help with is clarity on the future, and it depends on the client. Sometimes the client will come saying that, I want to do this particular thing in life. It might be career related, but sometimes it might be related to a particular habit that they want to build in their life. So it's more general.
I see. No, this is great. I'm wondering why somebody would need a coach if this is something they could talk to a friend. What is it that a coach brings in which a friend cannot?
So I think a friend will probably listen to you, but at the end of the day, they're going to uh, probably tell you their point of view. With a
Right.
coach, what we do, we are just a sounding board. We offer them the space to vent. We offer them a space to process their emotions, and we listen. We properly listen to them, and based on listening to them, we ask them the right questions. And the right questions are important, because when you ask them the right questions at the right time, it makes them self-reflect. They make it, and it leads to self-discovery. And I think that's the difference between just going and talking to a friend and talking to a coach.
Yeah. And coaches have frameworks. They
Yes.
studied the landscape of psychology and life coaching, and they have frameworks. They kind of have a what do you call a diagnostic kind of approach. So
Yeah,
great.
definitely.
If you wish to talk about what kind of frameworks you use, I would love to listen to it. Like, do you have any specific theories or any gurus you follow, or any scientists you look up to for your diagnostics?
So I usually use the SMART technique for setting goals. That is, being specific, measurable. The goal should be achievable, realistic, and timely. And it's more like each session leads to a different outcome. So usually it's the first couple of sessions figuring out what is it that you really want, what are your goals, and then the
Yeah.
next couple of sessions, we work on what are the options that you have, and are those options could you use those options based on the resources that you have right now. And then once we have the options down, we look at what options could you use to take action, and then we set a plan. And then once we have a plan, we take action, and then as a coach, I help them be accountable to their goals and regularly
Fantastic.
check in.
Fantastic. So this is one way. I think there are many other ways. If you work with different coaches, looks like this works for you. So
Yeah.
so how has the market been? What kind of response are you getting for this kind of coaching right now? The 9-week program and this smart approach.
So I would say it's a good response considering that I just started. After I started, within a week, I had people approaching me, which I was very surprised because I thought it would take more time. And especially being a coach in India and people not in India not being entirely exposed to the idea of coaching. But then once I had people come in, I realized that okay, this is something that people really need. People are craving that kind of a safe space where they can win, where they can kind of process their emotions and work through their thoughts.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, I remember when I was growing up, mental health issues were a stigma in India. People never talked about it. So it's kind of, I see this whole generation shift. People acknowledge that it's normal to have these mental toxic elements, and there should be a way to flush them out. So this is a new generation of awareness. So with that, I want to ask, what is your vision for Clarity Brew? Where do you see it, like, let's say 5 years from now, and what do you think is going to happen with this initiative?
For me, with Clarity Brew, my main vision is to help women all over the world, to be able to reach women all over the world, to help them gain a sense of direction and purpose in their life by giving them a safe space and empowering them to design their own future. But 5 years from now, I think I want to move from one-on-one coaching. I want to be able to get into group coaching, probably create my own online course. Yeah, that's the plan right now.
So fantastic. So a lot of investors and founders in the same space are listening to this podcast. What is your ask from them? What is it that you want from them? If you're asking for help, you're looking for partnerships, what kind of help would you need?
So honestly, right now I'm still just figuring things out and working things for myself. So right now I think I'm in a space where I want to take that time to learn the ropes properly and get to a place where uh, I have everything down. So right now I want to be the sole person who kind of brings this business up. But probably 2 years or 3 years from now, I will need some sort of mentorship or partnership.
All right, fantastic. So you're a very, very early stage venture, or I would say you're a solopreneur right now. As you see,
Yeah.
you're a consulting in your own accord. So this is great. This is one way for people to venture from a full-time job into a startup. Have this segue of consulting or being a solopreneur as you explore how to scale your business. Definitely, life coaching is one of the hottest trends to tap into, especially to serve the women. And with that, I want to ask you, on before I end this, any one fun thing about you the audience could know, and you want to talk to them about your personality.
I'm sure this is fun, but I call myself an amateur photographer. I I even have like there was a point where I thought that I was good at photography. I created my own Instagram page. So yeah, I'm not too active on that anymore because I have like a really important thing that I'm working on. But yeah, so I'm heavily invested in taking pictures, editing pictures, and there's this app called Snapseed. So whenever I get time, I spend time editing pictures on Snapseed.
Yeah, I think the world is getting more visual, I feel.
Yeah.
The when In the past few decades it was text and content online. Now it's content coming alive in any which form, and the photography is that segue. A lot of things which I see on your LinkedIn, they're images and then text is appended very lightly. It's more an image which you're sharing.
Mm.
I think it's a great hobby to have. And with that, before we end, any parting message to the audience who want to reach out to you, or generally anything you want to impart to them?
To get in touch with me, I have an Instagram page that's called clarity@clarity.brew.coaching, and I post content on mental wellness and positivity, motivation. So if that's something you like to see, then you can follow me on Instagram, and you can get in touch with me on Instagram as well. And parting message, this is something that I have been following, sort of like a personal motto. It would be that you are way more capable than you think you are. So just believe in yourself and be your own cheerleader.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ritu, for your most valuable time. I know it's late in the night, but you were graceful and kind enough to accept this invite. Uh, I hope a lot of people will benefit by listening to your principles here, which you shared, your motto, your mission, just the way you went about pursuing your passion, and you're really making an impact in the society at various levels. Thank you so much for gracing this show, and I hope to have you back again.
Thank you so much, Vida, for taking the time out to do this. And yeah, I would love to.
Fantastic.